Hey guys, what's up? Chad Wesley Smith here. I am joined by the incomparable Mike Tuchscherer. Mike Tuchscherer of Reactive Training Systems. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
So we're in Colorado Springs at, what's the name of the gym we're at?
Flex Gym.
At Flex Gym in Colorado Springs. And this is where Mike's based out of.
Yep.
You're not currently in the Air Force? Not in the Air Force anymore.
No, not anymore. But we just moved in a month or two ago, and I'm training down here now. It's a pretty great spot for lifting big weights. A lot of other powerlifters, bodybuilders, serious types around here. So it's a good spot.
And you also have a newborn baby?
Yeah. He's 10 months old, going on 11 months old. Walking around, yelling at things. It's a lot of fun.
Good deal. Congratulations with that.
Thanks.
So, for those of you who may not be familiar with Mike, he is very renowned, particularly in the USAPL and IPF. Just competed at IPF Raw Worlds 4 weeks ago.
A few, about that.
Over there in Finland, and has numerous lifters that he coaches. Was World University Games champion, multiple-time USAPL champion, multiple times competing at IPF on the world platform, both in single ply and now just as a raw competitor.
Yeah.
And one of the two things that Mike maybe is most noted for in internet lifting circles, are the use of RPE, rate of perceived exertion, as a auto-regulation tool, and the use of these different measurement tools to measure bar velocity and how that sort of dictates his training. So a lot of people are interested in that, and Mike, if you can kind of tell us maybe about these tools that you use and then how they impact your training.
Sure. So it all started back when I was a cadet at the Air Force Academy. I was the cadet in charge of the powerlifting team. I found that I had a lot of people that I needed to coach, and they weren't as experienced as I was, so I was trying to kind of convey what an experienced lifter feels and kind of convey that perception to somebody who's a little less experienced. So I read about RPE, so it was just an application of that concept. RPE, like you said, rate of perceived exertion. It's basically just how hard did it feel, but I like to tell people it's not like how hard did it feel. It's a performance measure. How like what we go to is reps left in the tank. Could you have done one more rep? Could you have done two more reps? Things like that. And that's kind of where it started, is using this sort of analysis to dictate, how hard did it feel. And then from there, I got into some bar speed stuff, using a Tendo unit or a GymAware or various other devices to measure the bar speed. And we could relate bar speed to effort. Obviously, a heavier weight is going to move slower. And if you're pushing on a bar and it moves faster, then you probably have more in the tank. So that's kind of where it all started. Like I was telling you during training today, kind of where it's evolving is as time goes on, the more I do this, the more experience I get with it. I keep the velocity stuff more as a background thing. To me, the subjective RPE kind of encompasses a lot more than just bar speed. You have technique that you're accounting for, kind of in the back of your mind, and other things as well, other perceptions. So that stuff is really important. I'll use the velocity to kind of fine tune that, but I mean you can do the same thing with videos or whatever tools you have available.
I imagine at this point your inner Tendo unit is pretty finely tuned.
Pretty tuned in, yeah.
So if you were going to give advice to someone who's maybe new to using velocity-based training or those measurement tools and new to using RPE, what would that advice be?
If you're new to using RPE, we tell you not to jump into it all at once. So we say start with whatever program that you're doing and just track your RPE. Start to assess it and measure it, write it down. Don't really build your training off of it. After a while, you'll start to notice you get more comfortable with it, and then you can start to make small adjustments to your training based on that RPE. But that kind of happens organically. What ends up happening for guys, they're tracking the RPE, and then one day they realize, this set is always supposed to be like an 8.5, but today it's only an 8. So I'm going to use a little bit more weight. Why not? And when you just kind of know that and you're willing to take charge of your own training in that way, that's when it's time, you know. But up to that point, just take it slow and work your way into it. And I would say the same thing with velocity-based training.
And that idea, that phrase that you use to take control of your own training, that's something I'm always encouraging people towards. Is you have to take ownership of what you're doing. All right, you can't just read an article by Mike or read an article by me or an ebook or whatever it is. Like, I'm just going to do that training because that's what Mike said, or that's what Mike does, or that's what I saw Dan Green does on Instagram. All right, you have to be making informed decisions for yourself. And if RPE is a thing that you understand and that works for you, great. Take it, use it, all right? But don't use it just because Mike uses it.
Right.
Use it because you understand it for yourself and it works for you. And
to kind of toss one back to you, if you don't mind, do you get emails from people asking your permission to make certain modifications and stuff like that to training?
yeah, definitely. And I kind of revert back to this quote from Vasily Alexiev, one of the greatest weightlifters of all time. And Alexiev said that everyone wants to do my program, but you can't do my program because then it would be your program.
Yeah.
And even if Mike and I were doing the exact same program, all right, I need to be doing those exercises to address my weak points, and Mike needs to be doing them to address his. And if they so happen to be the exact same thing, so be it. But Mike's doing his program, I'm doing mine. You guys need to do yours. So, Mike, where could people learn more from you?
ReactiveTrainingSystems.com. That's, of course, our website. We also have a Facebook page that we try to stay pretty active on. So just look for Reactive Training Systems. That's us.
All right. There he is, one of the smartest lifters and coaches in all of powerlifting, Mike Tuchscherer. Make sure to go check him out.